Hi everyone. Today in this arthroplasty class, we are going to talk about how implant design and its positioning helps in restoration of length and offset in total hip arthroplasty. So look at this picture. This will remind you of your physics class where you read about the first class lever system. So when you exert effort on one end of the pivot, the load on the other end is lifted, the work is done. Yeah, mechanical advantage is there when you have to exert little effort by increasing the lever arm. If you keep on increasing this lever arm on your side or the effort size, you will have to exert very little effort in lifting up this load. So this is what happens in our hip joint system. The abductor muscles have to lift up the body weight. Otherwise, the hemipelvis will droop on one side, and this is what happens when abductors are not working. So this abductor muscle working downwards to lift up the pelvis against body weight creates a joint reaction force at the pivot, that is the hip joint. So the distance between this abductor muscles pull direction and the center of rotation creates the abductor lever arm, which for all practical purposes is the femoral offset in our case. And this femoral offset indirectly will tell you about the abductor muscle tension. Similarly, the prosthesis that we are using will have its own vertical offset, horizontal offset, its vertical height and stem length and all. So coming to the X-ray picture, you can see that after implantation you create offsets. We have to define them one by one. The center of rotation is the central point around which all the movement of the hip joint is taking place. So this center of rotation is defined or decided by the position of the cup, because this center of rotation is actually the center of the sphere which the acetabular shell is a part of. So be careful while positioning your cup, because if you change the position of the cup, the center of rotation or the natural center of rotation of the hip joint will change. How do you define the position of the cup? Where have you placed the cup? So because the center of rotation is the marker of the cup, you define this position in relation to a fixed landmark, like be it a lateral aspect of the teardrop or the midline of the body. If you take the distance from the center of rotation to this fixed landmarks, you come to know about the acetabular offset. Similarly, if you find the distance from the center of rotation to the shaft axis, longitudinal axis of the femoral shaft, you come to know about the femoral offset. If you find the vertical distance from the center of rotation to a fixed point on the femur, that is lesser trochanter, then you get to know about the vertical offset. If you can recollect, this femoral offset is actually the abductor lever arm or the effort lever arm, which needs to be long enough so that you need less and less force or tension in the abductor muscles. And this acetabular offset, on the other hand, is the load lever arm. This needs to be short. Okay, but the concept of global offset, which means that the total distance of this abductor muscles from the pelvis means the midline or the teardrop, that is the sum of the acetabular offset and the femoral offset, is what defines the tension, because this tension has to be optimal for the proper functioning of abductor muscles. So rather than concentrating on individual acetabular and femoral offsets, we should try to increase to the optimum level the global offset value so that the abductor muscles function well. The vertical offset primarily affects the limb length, though it also affects the abductor muscle tension. But we generally do not take help of vertical offset. We do not increase the vertical offset in order to increase the abductor muscle tension, because it will inadvertently increase our limb length, a dreaded complication which we don't want. So basically, a hip which is diseased generally has a shortened offset, both femoral and vertical. And during the surgery, we try to increase the offset so that the normal anatomy is restored and we get a normal biomechanics. A hip with a shortened offsets, both femoral and vertical, will have instability, decreased range of movement, abductor lurch, and a lot of other complications. So now one by one we will see how the change in implant affects the offsets, the limb length, the center of rotation, and overall functioning of the hip joint. Starting with this change where the neck length has increased, that you can do by modular neck or by increasing the offset of the head, a positive head offset. So this longer neck stem, when reduced into the acetabular cup along with the head, then the whole of the femur is pushed downwards and laterally. The center of rotation has not changed, so the femur has to align itself after reduction. This will increase the femoral offset and the vertical offset both. On the contrary, if you are choosing a shorter neck or a head whose trunnion is shallow, not that deep, then you will decrease the offsets, the femoral and the vertical offset both. Limb length will decrease, abductor muscle tension will decrease, something which is rarely required. This is to note that change in the neck length or the head offset does not equally affect the horizontal offset, that is the femoral offset change, and the limb length change. It follows the trigonometric formula. For example, in excitator stem, when you change the offset from 0 to -4, the leg length decreases by 2.29 millimeters, while the horizontal offset decreases by 3.28 millimeters. Coming to the medialized neck, high offset stems, when you medialize the neck and then you reduce the femur, then whole of the system, the femoral system, is lateralized. So this increases the femoral offset where the center of rotation, and hence the acetabular offset remains unchanged. So this is a situation where you can increase the horizontal offset without affecting the vertical offset or the acetabular offset. It happens when you use a femoral stem with a low neck shaft angle. So suppose 125 degrees here. This is also called as a coxa vara stem, by the way. In doing so, when you reduce the stem, obviously you increase the horizontal offset, that is the femoral offset, because you have not changed the center, so you're not changing the acetabular offset, but you decrease the limb length. However, because the global offset has increased, global offset will increase because of increase in femoral offset, the abductor muscle tension is good. Where you keep your femoral processes proud, you do not stick it into the canal, femoral canal, or your neck cut is high, then after reduction, all of the femur is actually way lower than it should be. That is, you have increased the vertical offset and the limb length without even changing the horizontal offset. If the femoral stem is placed in varus, again after reduction the femoral system is lateralized, which increases the femoral offset and hence the global offset, which solves the purpose many a times, but this is something which should not be practiced. We should not by purpose place our stem in varus, because there are consequences to it. What you're seeing is trochanteric advancement that was used by Sir John Chanley to increase the femoral offset in his cases and to reduce the joint reaction forces. So when you lateralize the greater trochanter, the attachment of the abductor muscles is lateralized, the line of action is lateralized, that increases the femoral offset without increasing the vertical offset or the center of rotation. So this is good for abductor muscles. Coming to the change in position of the acetabulum cup. Medialize the acetabular shell, you actually medialize the center of rotation. Hence the distance from the center of rotation to the midline or the teardrop decreases. In other words, acetabular offset decreases. Hence the global offset decreases. Because you have reduced the load lever arm, joint reaction force has decreased. However, the abductor muscle tension also has decreased because you have decreased the global offset. So beware when you are doing such tricks like medializing the cup. When you place the cup at a higher than normal position in order to get good bone coverage, as often occurs in dysplastic hips, you actually shift the center of rotation superiorly. However, the vertical offset does not change. Hence, the limb length here decreases. Coming to the situation where lateralized or the offset liners are used. So this offset liner is just thickened at the floor so that it will shift the center of rotation laterally and inferiorly. So obviously femoral offset will remain more or less same, but the acetabular offset increases. The limb length also increases, hence the global offset increases. So the use of a larger acetabular shell produces the same effect. It also pushes or shifts the center of rotation laterally and downwards, and the same change in offset.
Sir John Charnley, in his low friction total hip arthroplasty, medialized the cup in an attempt to reduce the joint reaction forces. So, medializing the cup obviously decreases the load lever arm. So, our joint reaction forces decreases, but at the same time, it decreases the global offset. The global offset decides the tension in the abductor muscles. So, if you are planning to medialize the cup, be prepared to increase the femoral offset so that the final resultant, that is the global offset, does not change or it increases. This is what Sir John Charnley did. He increased the femoral offset while decreasing the acetabular offset by trochanteric advancement. To summarize, if you have to increase the horizontal offset only, just use a high offset stem with a medialized neck, or lateralize the stem, or you can do trochanteric advancement. If you just have to increase the limb length without changing the horizontal offset, then use a high neck cut. Do not sink in the stem, right? Or you can place the acetabular shell a bit lower than its normal level. In order to increase both the horizontal and the vertical offset, what you have to do is to use a longer neck, femoral neck, or a positive offset of the head. On the contrary, if you have to decrease both horizontal offset and the vertical offset, use a shorter neck or a negative head offset. To increase vertical and decrease femoral offset at the same time, use high neck cleft angle stem. And on the other hand, to decrease vertical and increase femoral offset at the same time, use low neck cleft angle, that is Coxa-Vara stem. So increasing offset, vertical or femoral or global, increases abductor tension and hence stability. However, vertical offset cannot be increased or should not be increased once limb length has been restored, or it will increase the limb length. So it's the femoral offset which we need to adjust or increase most of the times during the surgeries. Practical application of this information: how do we know about stability, or how do we ensure limb length and stability during the surgery? So first, have a look at the x-ray of the normal contralateral side, if it is there. So you have to have a look at the neck cleft angle. Better just have a look at the greater trochanter position. If it is at the same level of that the head, or it is at a high level, this means that the neck cleft angle is less. The situation is called Coxa-Vara, and you have special stems called Coxa-Vara stems for such situations. You have to be doubly sure that you do not lengthen such hips, a limb, because when the neck cleft angle is less, then you have to increase the femoral offset without increasing the vertical offset. On the other hand, the Coxa-Valga situation, you need to keep your limb length long without increasing the horizontal offset. Another way of ensuring that the limb length is not disturbed is to take a very low neck cut in Coxa-Vara situations where limb length has to be kept short, and taking a very high neck cut in valgus neck situations where you have to lengthen the limb. Another special situation is dysplastic hip, where you have to medialize the acetabular shell so that you get best bone coverage, but doing so decreases the joint reaction force. When you decrease the acetabular offset by medializing the cup, it also reduces the global offset. So we have to increase the femoral offset by using high offset stems in such situations, and this is what is advisable for DDH. Also remember that do not increase the femoral or the horizontal offset beyond the limit, because that will lead to trochanteric pain. And that, I'd like to say, if you're on table, you find that the limb length has been restored and the joint is stable, then be assured that you have restored the vertical and the horizontal offset to the normal values. Thank you.